guys, welcome back from spring break. I hope you enjoyed your week off. I know I did. So today we're going to go ahead and start with our new math lesson, equivalent fractions. So go ahead and open your math book to page 601. I sure do miss you guys. I know you miss me too. Okay, so equivalent fractions. Here we go. I'm sorry if it's kind of hard to see the TV screen, but remember you guys can just pause it or rewind it if you guys need to watch something again. Okay, so equivalent fractions. What is that? Oh, that's my TV. Okay, so go ahead and read this part with me, okay? Fractions that name the same part of the whole are equivalent fractions. Now, I know that sounds fancy. Equivalent fractions are equal and have the same size. So equivalent kind of sounds like equal, right? And that's what equivalent means. It just means they're an equal size. They're the same size. Okay, math in my world. Example 1. Noah has 1/2 of a fruit pizza. Now that fruit pizza, you guys can see it over here. There it is, fruit pizza. It is a thing. How could Noah cut the pizza into smaller, equal-sized pieces and still have half of the whole pizza? What? Okay, Noah. Half a pizza? All right, so he wants to cut the pizza into smaller, equal-sized pieces and still have half of the whole pizza. Now, your math book shows you all these fraction tiles, okay, which I got some. Miss McCarter brought me some, and I have all of the pieces to show you guys how Noah could cut this fruit pizza into smaller equal pieces and still eat half of it. But who eats fruit pizza? Not me. And fruit pizza is round. So I'm going to use a manipulative that's round. And we can call it a fruit pizza, but it's definitely not a fruit pizza. It is better than fruit pizza. Now, me, having all the stuff I have at my house, we're going to use tortillas. Corn tortillas. Store-bought corn tortillas. These are the ones you buy at the store. Okay, different than the ones you make at your house. But we're going to use a tortilla to model how Noah can cut this fruit pizza. Okay, so there is my fruit pizza. Now you can't really see it, but no, it's a tortilla. You can put cheese on it, you can put beans on it, you can put meat on it. You can literally put anything on it and it will taste delicious. Okay, so here's my tortilla. Now, Noah wants to cut his fruit pizza into smaller pieces. And we're talking about equal fractions because he still wants to eat half of it. Okay, so next I have cut a tortilla into halves, two pieces. Now, if I put these halves together, do I have a whole tortilla? Why, yes, I do. So 2 halves is equal or equivalent to 1 whole tortilla. Okay, you following me? 2 halves, 1 whole. Yeah, 1/2 is not equal to 1 whole. It is not the same thing. Okay, so now I wonder if I can break it down even further and still have equal or equivalent fractions. Let's see. So there are my 2 halves. Oh, yep, fit perfectly, my whole. Now, what if I cut my tortilla into fourths or 4 equal pieces? Will I still get a whole? Let's see. So there's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. Why, yes, you still get 1 whole. So 4/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, is equal or equivalent to 1 whole. Now let's kind of rewind a little bit. So 4/4 is equal to 1 whole. 2 halves is equal to 1 whole. So as of now, Noah can either cut his fruit pizza into halves and eat half of it, or he can cut it into fourths. Now, how many fourths would Noah eat if he wanted to eat half of it? Yeah, he'd eat 2. See? There's half of it. If he eats 2/4, that's half of his fruit pizza. Now, if Noah really wanted to, man, I feel like I know this Noah kid now because I keep talking about him. If Noah really wanted to, he could cut his fruit pizza into even smaller pieces. You guessed it, into 8ths. Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret that you may not know, okay? If you want to make homemade chips, store-bought tortillas are perfect for that. And you're going to want to cut your tortilla into 8ths and then you fry them in some oil. You can either make your own homemade salsa, it's really easy, or you can just buy canned salsa, but homemade chips are really good. Sprinkle some salt on these puppies after you fry them. So good. Okay, anyways, fractions. So now Noah cut his fruit pizza into 8ths. Now, if he cut it into 8ths, that means there has to be how many total pieces? 8. You're right. So let's see if 8/8 gives me a whole pizza. Oh, what do you know? 2/8 gives me a 1/4. Man, fractions, there's so much you can do with them. So much. It's crazy. You can just break them up smaller and smaller and smaller and keep having equivalent fractions or equal fractions. Okay, so now, ta-da! 8/8 equals 1 whole. So let's rewind again. So 8/8 gives me a whole. 4/4 gives me a whole. 2 halves gives me a whole. So now Noah can eat how many 8ths? If he wants to eat half of it, how many 8ths can he eat? He was able to eat 1/2 when we cut it into halves. He was able to eat 2/4 when we had it split up into 4ths. Now, how many 8ths can he eat to eat half of his fruit pizza? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he'll eat 4. So let me scoot this big guy over. So there it is. You can see it. Yeah, 4/8 equals 1/2. Okay, so these are all equal fractions. They're equivalent. Okay, now he's going to eat 4/8 of the fruit pie. 4/8 sounds like a lot, right? But it's still just 1/2. Okay, still the same as this guy right here. Yeah, it's the same. It's equal. Okay, so in your math book, now if I put my tortillas to the side, it shows you guys some tiles, okay? So, let's see. Let's go ahead and do this with the tiles as well, just because this could be a difficult topic, I guess. Practice. We'll practice it. Okay, so use 1/4 fraction tiles to equal the length of the 1/2 fraction tile model. See, my tortilla lesson is so much more fun than this, right? Okay, how many 1/4 tiles are there? So basically, where did I put my tiles? Oh, there they are. So basically what they're saying is if I have 1/2, like it is here, I'm going to use 1/4 tiles on top of it to see how many fourths I get. So there are my 1/4. How many 1/4 did I have to use to get 1/2? 2. You're right. And we kind of saw that with the tortillas already. I already modeled it with the tortillas. So how many 1/4 tiles are there? There are 2. You got it. So 1/2 equals 2/4. They are equal or equivalent. So let's go ahead and write equivalent because that's our new fancy word. Okay. Now, Noah, there we are. Okay. Noah could cut half of the pizza into even smaller equal sized pieces. And so here is where he's going to use the 1/8, kind of like we did, the chip size eighths, right? So use 1/8 fraction tiles to equal the length of 1/2 of a fraction. So here they want us to now see how many eighths we could use to fill up the 1/2. So here we go, 1/8, which you can't see. There we go. Okay, so how many 1/8 tiles are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4. 4/8 equals 1/2, which once again we modeled with our lovely tortillas. So there are 4 1/8. So 1/2, 2/4, or 4/8, they are equal or equivalent fractions. Say that word with me. Equivalent. I could hear you. I could totally hear you. Okay. So let's go ahead and write equivalent. So half of the fruit pizza is the same as 2/4 or 4/8 of the pizza. Whew. Wow, that was long. Yeah, okay. Go ahead and turn the page. So your math book is giving you different ways to do this. One way is to use fraction tiles, which you probably don't have. If we were in our classroom, I would have those fraction tiles for you guys. But you know what? I probably wouldn't have used the tortillas as an example. So there's always that, that line where, we might not have one thing, but you might have tortillas at your house. Go ahead and cut some of those up and use them. For reals, I'm totally serious. Okay, so if you don't have tortillas, I will take you some tortillas. I will drop them off on your front porch. I swear. So just have your parents text me. Okay, so fraction tiles you don't have. So let's skip to a number line, because you can also use a number line to see where fractions are and if they're equal or equivalent or not. So here they show you 1/3 of one whole shares the same point on the number line as 2/6. They are both 1/3. They are both correct. 1/3 equals 2/6. So they are fractions. I think they meant to put they are equivalent fractions. Yeah. So basically what these guys are saying is if you have a number line, it has 0 and 3/3, which we know equals 1. When you have the same number, like 3/3, that equals 1. 6/6, that's the same as 1. Kind of like we had like the 4/4 of our tortilla. When I put them together, we got one whole, right? And when we cut the eighths tortilla into eighths. 8 of those eighths gives me 1 whole. So that's why they have that 1 on the number line, because 3/3, if I put the thirds together, it would equal 1 whole. So anyways, they have the 0 to the 1, and they're cutting this up into thirds, which we have already done in our previous lessons. So they have 1/3, 2/3, and 3/3. But then on the bottom, they use sixths, right? And so they have the 0 and the 1, which obviously the 1 is 6 sixths, right? And so they have the 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, and 6/6. And so 1/3 on this number line, and if I want to find like 1/3 in the sixths, it would be right directly below it. And so 2/6 is the same as 1/3. The distance from here to here is the same as here to here. So that's how you could use a number line. It could be kind of tricky because if you don't have them like right underneath each other, like perfectly aligned, it could be a little tricky to see if they're even equivalent. So, you know, whatever works best for you. Tiles, tortillas, number lines, it's up to you. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go to the guided practice. So guided practice says complete the number sentence with an equivalent fraction. And so here they give you 1/2, kind of like we did in the first page. And then they give you some fourths. How many fourths do we need to give us 1/2? 2. And so then 1/2 is the same or equal or equivalent to 2 of the fourths. Okay, so go ahead and do the on my own, which is page 603 and 604. If you guys need to rewatch this, go ahead and rewatch it. If not, we have office hours tomorrow, and you can ask me any questions that you may have. I sure do miss you guys, and I hope to see you on Zoom tomorrow and on Wednesday for our directed drawing. Okay, see you later.